All right. Hey guys, how's it going? In this video, we're going to go through the new IELTS Speaking Part 1 topic, mirrors. I made a video, put it out on Little Red Book, Billy, and YouTube last week, asking you which Part 1 topic you wanted me to cover. If you ever see one of those in the future and I don't mention the one you're interested in, just let me know in the comment section. I'm more than happy to cover various topics in this exam. Okay, so a brief plan for this lesson. We're going to look at first reviewing topic questions, just looking at how they're structured and the hints they give you to how you should structure your answer, just to help you get a better grammatically structured answer in this section of the exam. Then we're going to look at preparing vocab. A lot of students who are stuck between band 5 to 6.5. Not saying band 7 and higher can't improve their vocab, but a lot of the lower level bands are very repetitive with their language. They overuse certain keywords too much. And just by preparing a little bit of vocabulary, they can improve at least their lexical resource score. And then we're going to look at some model answers. I'm going to show you some of the answers one of my students who I worked with recently gave. And I'll share with you some of my own, just so we can look at some nice descriptive vocabulary for this topic. So let's jump into it. These are the questions for the Part 1 speaking topic, mirrors, in the IELTS exam. This new November topic. And the first question is, how often do you use a mirror? Okay, so the words how often hint that we should be talking about a routine. We should be using sentences about frequency. And of course, routine is always spoken about in the present tense. So important to notice that when you're in the exam. The next question, would you buy clothes without checking yourself in a mirror? This is a hypothetical question asking you, if you were in the situation that you wanted to buy clothes, would you do it without looking in a mirror? So whenever you get one of these would you questions, you should use would, the modal verb, in your answer, and then just spit out your answer for what you would do in that scenario. Question number 3, have you ever bought a mirror? This is a past tense question. They're asking about your past experience. The keyword bought shows you that. So does have you ever. So the simplest way to go is answer with past tense verbs, which I will demonstrate in my answer. And this is a very simple thing, but a lot of people miss it. Or maybe they know it's a past tense question, but they forget to focus on the verb and they use present tense verbs. So just be careful here if you're struggling in this exam. Do you think mirrors are necessary in everyday life? This is just an opinion question, so you can use an I think, or in my opinion, or many other ways to give your answer, and then just share your opinion with them. Okay, so let's go on and look at vocabulary. In this section of the exam, I always encourage students to just prepare keywords, paraphrases, or synonyms of keywords. Okay, so in this question, how often do you use a mirror? The main keyword is mirror. It's in every question in this topic. There's no real synonym I came up with for mirror. But you can just use descriptive vocabulary to talk about different types of mirror, like a full-length mirror, the mirror that you can see your whole body in if you're standing and looking at it, or a pocket mirror, the mirror that people often carry around in bags, small little mirror they can pick it out and look at themselves and then put it away. Maybe they carry it in a purse or in a pocket. Closet mirror or closet door mirror, oftentimes it's in a bedroom. They'll open their closet door and the mirror will be hanging on the back of the door, so they can kind of put the mirror away by closing the closet. Floor to ceiling mirrors, these are my favorite. They reach from the bottom of the floor up to the ceiling. I had a room when I lived in Vancouver, the whole wall was just floor to ceiling mirrors. It was really cool. And then bathroom mirrors, the mirror you typically see when you go in the bathroom. Right? So this is not an exhaustive list. There's other types of mirrors you can talk about. It's just better to have descriptive vocabulary than to just say mirror. And then for how often, I have different little chunks of language here to talk about frequency or how regularly you do something, right? Several times throughout the day, or I always have one on me, or on a daily basis, from time to time. This should be once in a while. There's a small typo there. So it's just good to prepare just a little vocabulary to help you sound just a little better. Okay, so next question. Let's just do one more of these to show you how we can prepare vocab. Would you buy clothes without checking yourself in a mirror? So, first keyword, buy. Very easy to, reword. We can say purchase or pick up. Like I picked up some hats at the store, or I ordered something online, or I'm going to go shop for. So, lots of different ways you can say buy. Clothes, we can just talk about the specific type of clothing. Checking yourself, I don't really say I'm checking myself. I say check myself out, the phrasal verb. But yeah, again, it's just preparing small things to help you sound more descriptive. So let's go into the actual answers. And at this point, I just want to remind you of an acronym I share with my students, ABU30. A stands for answer directly. If it's a yes or no question, just give them a yes or a no. If they say, do you prefer this or that? Choose one. Because sometimes students give indirect answers where they kind of explain themselves first and then they get to their yes at the end of the question. But sometimes they don't get to the end of the question because they get cut off. So I always encourage students, say your answer first, then give your details. B stands for be specific. Use descriptive language. Use adjectives, adverbs. Give details about the noun you're talking about. U stands for use paraphrases, synonyms, and referencing. This helps you sound less repetitive and it helps you show the examiner broad vocabulary. And then the last thing is 30. We want to give extended answers on the whole. It doesn't have to be every single answer, but just try to do it. Your answers should generally fall between 20 to 30 seconds. Okay. So let's look at my student's answer. She was a band 5.5 in her last exam. Prior to that, she got a band 6, which was a good increase for her. She was originally band 5. So she fell back to 5.5 this exam. It's a good reminder. Don't stop practicing your English until you're completely finished with this exam. Because just because you get a higher band one time doesn't mean you're like a solid band 6. Maybe you still have a lot of weaknesses. And if you keep practicing it up until your next exam, instead of just practicing a few days before, you'll probably have a higher chance of getting the score you want. So this question was, how often do you use a mirror? My student said, almost every day, especially in the morning. I need to use it to make up. We also get a big mirror in our dormitory. Me and my roommate will use it to check out how we look. Okay, descriptive answer. It's extended, pretty straightforward. Good job to my student. A few little grammar mistakes. She said, I need to use it to make up, but she wants to say to put on makeup. And we also have a big mirror in our dormitory. Me and my roommate use it to check out how we look. There's no will here. She's talking about her routine. Would you buy clothes without checking yourself in a mirror? My student said, oh yeah, I'd love to do that. But nowadays, I haven't got such opportunity to do that because most of my clothes are bought from the internet. Okay, so she misunderstood the question. Maybe she didn't hear without. Maybe she just heard with. So a small little word she missed completely makes the answer wrong. So obviously she should have said, oh yeah, I do that all the time. But nowadays, I don't have the opportunity to go shopping because I'm too busy with school or something. So usually I buy my clothes online and just visualize how I look. Okay, so small hearing mistake, big answer mistake. Just be careful. Have you ever bought a mirror? She said yes, but it was a long time ago. The last time I bought a mirror was 3 years ago. Okay, pretty good so far. I moved into this dormitory and bought a small mirror, but this year's I haven't bought any mirrors. Okay, so it's extended, it's descriptive, it's detailed, it's easy to understand. There's a little bit of repetitive. She said bought 1, 2, 3 times. She said mirror 1, 2, 3 times. So by using referencing, saying I got a small one, or I purchased a small one, and by switching bought with purchased or shopped for, it just shows the examiner more vocabulary. Last question. She said, do you think mirrors are necessary in everyday life? I'm sorry, the question was, do you think mirrors are necessary in everyday life? She said, I think it depends on different people. She's given a conditional answer. Great. For me, it's absolutely unnecessary for me because I need to put makeup and check myself. But for some people, they don't need to do that. Okay, so just grammar mistakes. She doesn't need an article here. For me, it's absolutely necessary. And she doesn't need to say for me again, because I need to put on makeup and check myself. And then maybe she could just put some details about other people. But for some people, they don't need to do that because they're not concerned with their appearance or something. So good answers. She's extending her answers. She's giving detailed answers. Just sometimes a little repetitive, sometimes a lot of grammar mistakes, So by practicing routinely, you can cut these things out and you can give yourself a higher chance at doing well in part one of the IELTS speaking exam. So I'm just going to stop right here, guys, before I go into my answers. And I just want to ask you guys, how are you guys practicing part one of the IELTS speaking exam? Are you guys researching vocabulary all the time and just trying to memorize new vocabulary? Or are you writing out your answers and scripting them? Or are you recording your answers and actually listening to yourself? Which one of those three things are you doing to practice? Let me know in the comment section. I want to see what's going on with a lot of you guys. Okay, so let's go on to my answers. I've highlighted some descriptive language in each one. Remember, don't copy my answer. You're not me. It will sound weird, especially if you forget part of the answer in the exam and you try to memorize it and then you feel lost. So just take the pieces of language that you feel you can use and then apply them to your own ideas. So how often do you use a mirror? I said all the time. I use one on a daily basis in the morning to brush my teeth and check that my hair is how I like it. And most days I'll be checking in throughout the day in a public bathroom, so it's a fairly stable part of my daily routine. Okay, so some great descriptive language about frequency. I said all the time on a daily basis. And most days, then I said, I'll be checking in throughout the day. This means I'll be going into a public bathroom, like in between my classes in university or on my lunch break and on my little breaks at work, just to go see how I look in the mirror. It's a consistent part of my daily routine. Next question. Would you buy clothes without checking yourself in a mirror? So this is a hypothetical question again. I used the negative version of the modal verb. I said, nah, I wouldn't do that. I know that a lot of people do. They shop online, I paraphrased buy clothes, and look at an image online of a model, then visualize themselves in it meaning in the outfit. But for me, that's just not practical. I want to put the actual piece on, the actual piece meaning the piece of clothing I want to buy. And make sure it fits the shape of my body. Make sure it looks just as good on me as it does on the model, so I don't buy something and then when I go home, I put it on and I'm like, it's awful, Have you ever bought a mirror? Okay, past tense. Let's look at it. For sure, I picked one up in my uni days at a local dollar store. This is a nice descriptive sentence. I paraphrase bought. I gave a descriptive term for a time of my life, my uni days, and then I said at a local dollar store. It was an amazing price for a full-size vertical mirror. Surprisingly, it lasted several years before I accidentally knocked it over and shattered it. So notice I'm using past tense verbs throughout my answer, and it's very descriptive. I said shattered it. This makes you visualize like a mirror hitting the ground and glass shattering and flying everywhere, little shards of glass, or maybe the mirror just gets cracked in lots of small little pieces. Last question. Do you think mirrors are necessary in everyday life? That really depends on the individual. If someone is appearance-oriented, then for sure, it's crucial for that kind of person to look their best. And without a mirror, they'll be lost. But on the other hand, a more introverted person or someone who doesn't value appearance as much may not really need one to the same degree. Okay, so I gave a conditional answer, just like my student. I talked about appearance-oriented people who value how they look, versus more introverted people or more down-to-earth people who are not so concerned about our physical appearance and more concerned about maybe the quality of our character. So That's it, guys. I hope you found this video useful. If you have any questions or comments, put it in the comment section down below. And if you found it useful, please give me a like, subscribe, share it with anyone else who's taking the IELTS speaking exam, and it'll keep me motivated to make more great content in the future. On Sunday, I'm going to put out a video about helping you improve your IELTS Part 2 topics so you can give a smooth answer. So it's just some general tips about great things you can do to give you a better shot at producing a solid Part 2 answer in Part 2 in the second part of the IELTS speaking exam. All right, guys, see you in the next video. Bye-bye.